Jack the Ripper killed his victims very, very quickly. He would slit their throats. All the atrocities he perpetrated on bodies were done post-mortem. But somebody like Jane Toppin would derive this very, very sick sexual pleasure from, administering these poisons slowly over the course of days and even weeks to her victims. And, making them horrendous. These people suffered horrible, tortures. And then finally, when she decided she wanted them to die, she would give them a fatal dosage. And she would, by her own admission, she would get into bed with them while they were dying and embrace them and have an orgasm as they were dying. So, she very much, again, it's a serial murder of a terrifyingly sadistic stripe. But again, just going about it differently than the way men do.
And it seems that a lot of the female ones are like nurses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, although some of the most, very, very infamous female serial murderers in America of the late 19th century were not nurses. They were just housewives and mothers, who ended up killing assorted husbands and children. That's another difference I found between male and female serial murders, which is and again, I think it reflects something about the difference in male and female sexual behavior. Male serial killers generally tend to prey on strangers, whereas female serial murderers tend to kill intimates. They will kill family members. They'll kill husbands. They'll kill close friends. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, and also too, female pedophiles also too will usually very, very young victims, and victims that they're like in charge of, like they're a teacher or they're a babysitter or something like that, or even nurses again.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good time to take a commercial break. We're here with Harold Schechter. His website is haroldschechter.com. Now, that's spelled SCHECHTER.com. American true crime writer. Has written many, many books. We'll be right back after the latest one is called Man-Eater, The Life and Legend of an American Cannibal. We'll be right back with more of Harold Schechter right after these messages. And now, a word from our sponsors. Pacific West Bamboo, your premier source for sustainable building material. They provide construction-grade and craft-grade bamboo material for all your indoor, outdoor, and gardening needs. Contact them for event planning and display building as well. 503-839-8126. Or you go to their new website, pacificwestbamboo.com. Or you can contact them on Facebook at Pacific West Bamboo. That's 503-839-8126. Amanda from Pacific West Bamboo was our first sponsor. She's been so good to us, so please support her in return. I want to make everybody aware of our new members section at www.oppermanreport.com. You can go there and sign up for a monthly, quarterly, or yearly subscription. You can even purchase episodes one by one. You get full access to brand new original content, new guests, new uncensored interviews, my own investigations and reports, and we're going to be adding sections with documents, images, police reports, either provided by myself or by my guests, or for my own investigations, my own reports. So you can go to oppermanreport.com and you can sign up there tonight. You can start listening tonight. Strawman. I want to mention Strawman. Strawman is a band out of Toronto, Canada. They're good friends of the Opperman Report. They're a trio of guys who share the same mindset most of us here do, and they put that energy into their words and music. So check them out at strawmanmusic.com and drop them a line to let them know that you heard them here on the Opperman Report. We'll be doing an interview with Sean Duffy soon. You can get an autographed copy of my book, How to Succeed as a Private Investigator, by visiting my PI website, emailrevealer.com. We also offer a computer and cell phone forensics. We can recover deleted text messages to uncover infidelity. We offer asset searches, locates, email tracing, background reports, and we can even trace your spouse's email address back to internet dating websites to catch them cheating online. You can reach us at 800-572-9762, or you can email me at emailrevealer@aol.com. New World Mexican Women. Everyone loves the New World Mexican Women, and their line of fine, handcrafted, authentic Mexican jewelry of stone mosaic and abalane stone inlay. In their first book, titled New World Mexican Women, available on lulu.com, they teach you how to make this jewelry, and they have a collection of love letters to their men from their hometown that have immigrated to the United States to find work. They have also published a new book entitled Azuquina to the Rodeo. It's about a young girl that falls in love with a rodeo bull rider, and she runs away with him without telling her family. You can find the New World Mexican Women by Googling New World Mexican Women. And you can ask them about their deals on wholesaling their fine jewelry and all of the other projects that they have going on. If you'd like to have your business or website advertised here and promoted all over the world on dozens of stations every day, give us a call at 800-572-9762 or email oppermanreport@gmail.com. And now back to our show. Well, not so soon. First, we're going to talk about MichiganMushrooms.net. They offer the highest quality chaga chunks available anywhere, picked fresh from healthy live trees in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, sun-dried and quickly shipped to you. They're very proud of their long-standing reputation as trusted farmers and collectors of wild, gourmet, and medicinal mushrooms. Customer service and offering high-quality products is very important to them. And they have a strict grading system that begins in the woods, and they would rather pass up a chunk that looks bad instead of passing it off to you, the customer. Additionally, they are recognized by the state of Michigan as mushroom experts. They are certified by the Department of Agriculture to sell 20 different species of mushrooms, and proof of this certification is available upon request. That is MichiganMushrooms.net or on Facebook, Michigan Mushrooms LLC. Got a brand new sponsor, The Rodeo of Doom by Miguel La Sala. The year is 2384, and Henry Fields is a down-on-his-luck adjunct professor in the architecture department at Andreas Tangen University in Los Angeles. But he has one thing going for him that others don't. He has enough of the coveted EP14 to live to be 200 if he wants to. Not that hard. When he saves a woman for certain death with a few drops of the EP14, a corrupt government agency tries to blackmail him into selling off his supply. Just when it seems like it might be a good idea, all hell breaks loose. The Rodeo of Doom was written by Miguel La Sala and edited by Margaret A. Harrell, the author of Keep This Quiet, memoir series. Now, she was also the copy-edited Hunter S. Thompson's breakthrough book, Hell's Angels. According to Harrell, the Rodeo of Doom will grip you and pull you into the wild ride of a different reality. This is a consciously fast-paced journey into the future. Author Miguel La Sala reveals his craft by intricately weaving in fine details for his reader and keeps you anxiously anticipating what will happen next. Do not wait to read this book. There will surely be more to come from this author. The Rodeo of Doom is available on Amazon.com, and there's a link to the Rodeo of Doom in the Opperman Report bookstore. Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman, and we're here today with the true crime author Harold Schechter. And you can find his website at haroldschechter.com, SCHECHTER.com. Also, to all his books will be available in the Opperman Report bookstore on oppermanreport.com. So, Harold, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, now, there was a couple I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, America's youngest serial killer, Fiend. The shocking true story of America's youngest serial killer. What's the story with that?
He was, this took place in Boston. This is also in the 1870s, around 1871, not too long after the end of the Civil War. His name was Jesse Harding Pomeroy. Again, a classic, what used to be called lust murderer, who, well, we have limited amount of information about his childhood, but he seemed to have been subjected to very frequent and severe physical punishment by his father. His parents were actually divorced, which was quite unusual at the time. And Jesse also had this one eye had some kind of strange white film over it. So he was also constantly the butt of a lot of, cruel teasing growing up. But anyway, yeah, when he was around 12, he began luring young boys in South Boston to these remote places and torturing them. He would bind them up and beat them with a belt, and his acts became increasingly severe. By the time they finally caught him, he was taking his penknife and slicing up the kids' faces and threatening and cutting their penises. Anyway, there was this whole string of these attacks. The newspapers kept talking about this boy fiend. They finally arrested him. One of his victims identified him. He was arrested, put into a reform school where he was kind of a model inmate, and his mother persuaded the governor to commute his sentence, and he was released after 18 months, and almost immediately committed two horrible sexual mutilation murders, one on little boy, one on little girl. And he was captured very quickly and at first sentenced to be hanged, but he was only 13 at the time, and that caused a big uproar among the populace of Boston. They felt it was very uncivilized to execute somebody so young. So he was given a sentence of life without the possibility of parole in solitary confinement. He ended up spending over 40 years in solitary confinement. It was, up until recently, it was the second longest stretch of any prisoner in solitary confinement after Robert Stroud, the famous Birdman of Alcatraz. So, and that's a story in a nutshell.
Imagine that, 13 years old, and you get thrown in solitary confinement for the next, what was it, 40 years, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
My God. Did anybody ever interview him or talk to him at the end of that stretch?
Yeah, well, he was finally, after 40 years, released from solitary and put in a general prison population. And by then, he was always something of a celebrity. But when they finally released him from solitary, it was news in Boston. They transferred him actually from the prison that he had spent 40 years in to a different facility. There were all these stories, comparing him to Rip Van Winkle. I mean, when he had gone into prison, it was like 1880 something. When he got out, it was the late 1920s. The world obviously changed quite dramatically in the course of that time. He had never seen a car, let alone ridden one. He'd never seen an airplane. He had never heard the radio or anything. So, there was a lot of interest in him when he got out of solitary, when he made this trip by car, one prison to another.
So they let him out of solitary, but they never actually let him out of prison.
No, he died in prison. But yes, he was eventually let out of solitary. I mean, there were people who, really then, that he had been subjected to this incredible torture.
Yeah, could you imagine? 13 years old. Oh, my God. Okay, The Mad Sculptor.